So, very obviously, I just I'm talking like just a couple of hours ago, I came from my first viewing of the Super Mario Galaxy movie, right? And I say my first viewing because I'm sure, like, I'm probably gonna maybe end up going with friends or something to go see it again, which I don't mind, you know. I would love to see this movie another time or maybe 2 more times just to get, you know, an even better idea of how I'm really feeling about this movie. But as of right now, I have a lot of mixed feelings about this movie, right? Now, to make it clear, right, because I don't know what I'm going to title this yet, but the title may be misleading, right? I like the movie in of itself. The movie was fine. It was very fun, you know. There's a lot of good qualities about the movie, right? There's a lot of very not good qualities about it that I'm going to talk about throughout this video, but there's a lot of good qualities about it too, right? Spoiler warning, this is not going to be a spoiler-free review. I'm going to be, like, I guess review, or just chit-chat. This is going to be a not spoiler-free chit-chat. I'm going to talk spoilers, so if you don't know anything about the movie yet, or you have yet to see the movie and you plan to see it soon, go watch the movie, come back here, and we can chit-chat about it, right? So, as far as my thoughts go, right, overall, I think it was a fun time, right? I've never been like the biggest just Mario fan, you know. I like Mario, he's cool, I like the games and stuff like that, but I've never been that attached to Mario as a franchise, right? I've played, you know, 64 when I was a kid, once or twice, you know. I played Galaxy probably 1 time. Like, the footage that you're seeing is probably my first time ever playing, or not first time ever, first time playing Galaxy in well over a decade, right? I never finished Sunshine. I didn't really care much for Sunshine. I liked Odyssey a lot. As far as the 3D Marios go, you know, I love the RPGs. The RPGs are my favorite aspect about the Mario franchise by and far. Super Mario RPG, any of the Mario and Luigi games, all of them, Paper Mario. The RPGs are where my heart is at with the Mario franchise, but as a whole, you know, Mario's cool. I like it enough, you know, but I've never been like as attached to it as I am to, like, you know, Pokemon or Zelda or, you know, other Nintendo franchises, right? So that's how you know, like, where I stand with that, right? But I'm cultured enough to know, you know, to understand a lot of the references and everything that they make within the game, all of the things that they're utilizing in this movie to reference other games and stuff like that, you know, where this movie is coming from. Okay, so I think that's a pretty fair place to come from, right? So, I want to just get the good qualities out of the way first, right? I think it was a lot of fun, and I think this movie, for the most part, you know, despite how people may feel about it, was made with a lot of love and as a love letter to fans of Mario for the 40th anniversary, right? Miyamoto said himself, I think he said himself, or maybe Twitter was just lying, you know, it was April Fool's. it was April Fool's Day, so a lot of people were probably just lying, but I think there was a thing floating around of Miyamoto talking about the fact that this was, like, you know, this was the, like, 40th anniversary movie. That's, you know, that was where the priorities were, right? So it was just another massive celebration of Mario in the form of its second major movie, right? And I think it was a good time, you know. I loved it a lot. There was a lot of visual style. It was so pretty. This movie was beautiful through and through, right? I loved every second of just the graphical stylings of this movie. I hate saying graphics for movies, but, like, you know, you get what I'm getting at. You know, it's kind of funny to say that because it's a video game based movie. So I think it's you know, more appropriate now than ever to say graphics, but it was a very pretty movie through and through. If you're one that likes visuals for animated movies and things like that, you will not be disappointed with how this movie looks. It is so fluid, it's so pretty to look at, right? All the colors are so vibrant, and they got a lot of textures, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, even on Yoshi, I was at first a little skeptical about, like, his textures and things like that. I didn't know how I was feeling about that when I first saw how he looked, because he's a lot more scaly in the movie than he is in the games, where he looks a lot more smooth. It doesn't look like he has scales in any of the games, you know? He doesn't look like that. But in the movie, he looks a little bit more scaly, and I think that's a lot more fitting. That makes a lot more sense. He is a dinosaur, right? So that's fine. That's cool. I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? Overall, you know, texture-wise, just visually, this is a very pleasing movie. Choreography was very, very fluid. There's a lot of action. And I mean a lot of action in this movie. People are fighting each other every 30 seconds. That's barely an exaggeration. There is always a fight going on. Always. right? And that's probably one of the highlights of this movie, is that the choreography is so much fun. It's so fluid, the way they move and the way they look when they fight. It's so good. You know, it's a good time. They really take advantage of the fact that this is an animated movie, right? I have to give Illumination their flowers. No matter how much I'm not like a big fan of like the Minions or anything like that, these are good looking movies, and the way they move and, you know, just the way everything is animated is always so fluid and so much fun, and they always do a good job with that. And just animating, like having them take on the role of like doing heavy action and stuff like that, they did a bang-up job. They did a really, really good job with the choreography and the action. I think it was very fun and very, a very good, omen? No, omen's not the word. Whatever, I'm probably just tired, whatever, but you get what I'm getting at. Homage! It was a good homage to, like, you know, video games, movies in general, just video games. Action, right? They did a very good job with that. All of the references and callbacks, there's so many. There's so many. You know what I'm saying, right? There are so many references in this movie to Super Mario World, Super Mario Bros. 2, Odyssey, obviously Galaxy. You know what I'm saying? There's so much. I think one of the biggest ones, for whatever reason, the one major reference that caught me off guard was Mario Maker. I was like, I never would have guessed they would have went out of their way to make a Mario Maker reference in any way, shape, or form. And they made like a major scene, like a major action scene. I was like, that's clever. Like, that's a lot of fun. You know what I'm saying? And they did a fun job animating it too. Like, it was really, really fun. It was a good time, right? On top of that, obviously the music was very solid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they did a better job this time around, not opting for like the generic, like 90s music that they would use in like that they did with the first Mario movie and stuff like that. So I'm glad that they went more with the, you know, just playing around with the different motifs and stuff like that all the time throughout this movie. It was fun, right? Overall, movie was a very fun time. I enjoyed myself watching it. I definitely found myself throwing up my hands a lot at like some of the more cornier jokes, but you know, it's Mario. It's a kid's movie at the end of the day. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that sentence too. But, you know, for the most part, it was still a good time. Now, flipping the coin over to the opposite side here, and, you know, why I've probably titled the video that it makes me angry as hell, right? Because this movie had so much potential to be so much more in so many different aspects. And I think that its biggest problem, the biggest issue with the Mario movie, is the fact that it has zero focus on what it should be. It's very obvious that they advertised this as the Mario Galaxy movie because, you know, Mario Galaxy was one of the most like widely, like highly regarded Mario games in the 3D era. Like that's the one that people know. You know, people got on their Wii's, on their Nintendo Selects, like people know Mario Galaxy, right? So it was the safest possible option as opposed to just Super Mario Movie 2 or Super Mario Movie World or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like they just played it safe and went Super Mario Galaxy immediately, which at first felt like a jump, but you know, you think back to the popularity of Mario Galaxy as a game and people are like, oh yeah, no, like that makes plenty of sense. Absolutely. It's a no-brainer, right? But the problem is, it was barely a Mario Galaxy movie, right? Because that's the thing. The primary aspects that make it a Galaxy movie is the fact that Rosalina's there, and that it's in space. The Rosalina, the Lumas, and the fact that it takes place in space. That's it. That is the entire aspect of it, right? And that's like, it's kind of okay, but like they didn't take advantage of, you know, the exploration of the galaxies like they could have, right? Like I feel like it could have easily been more of a focus on like, you know, trying to, you know, save Rosalina and stuff like that if they focused on, you know, going to these individual different worlds one by one, trying to get a hold of like, you know, information on where Rosalina might be, what's actually happening with Bowser Jr. and the, you know, Planet Bowser and stuff like that. I feel like it could have easily just narrowed it down a little bit as opposed to trying to fit in, you know, so many different aspects from like Mario World and Mario 2 and like Odyssey. Like it was too much. It was so much. more than it needed to be. And that is easily this movie's biggest issue, right? And on top of that, the thing that amplifies that unfortunate fact is the fact that because it tries to focus on too much, the pacing of the movie is at breakneck speed. It is so fast. There is not a single, there's like 4 seconds of breathing room in between each individual like major scene, right? Something major happens, you'll have like 2 seconds of breathing room, and then something else major happens, and then something else major happens, and then maybe you have a little bit of breathing room, maybe you have a little fun moment here or there, and then it's right back to the act. It's like, slow down. Like, you need to understand, like, this is Mr. Video Game, bro. Like, we're here. You don't need to speed through every little single aspect. I know a lot of people are scared, especially in the movie space, because people's attention spans are not where they used to be. People's attention spans are beyond cooked. It's so bad, right? And I understand that. But as grown individuals, people who have grown up with the Mario franchise for the last 40 plus years, right? People who have been, they have their kids, whatever, they're growing them up on Mario. They're paying money to see this movie. Like, they're sat. We are here. It's okay to take your time to tell the story. Tell, this video game movie story, right? And because of that, it's really unfortunate because, again, we don't have any breathing room. We never have time to sit down with any major themes, any major, like, potential plot developments or anything like that. We learn everything so fast, and we just have to eat that and, like, hope it goes somewhere. And 9 times out of 10, it didn't. There were so many things, like, literally the relationship between Mario and Peach developing, that went pretty much nowhere. Obviously meeting Yoshi, I mean, that's cool. Yoshi was there, Yoshi got introduced very early on, and then he was just kind of around, but he never served any, like, major purpose outside of being, like, the third, he was just kind of part of the team now. That was cool, but, they kind of treated him like, he never got any real focus outside of the first, like, 30 minutes, so that sucked. This whole act with Bowser potentially becoming something of a good guy was probably never even should have been on the table, honestly. I feel like it always should have just been like, once Bowser escaped, he was like, oh yes, like it was a fun idea that he was conflicted and wanted to be friends with Mario and Luigi and stuff like that. But, like, the way they handled it was just not good. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was potential at the beginning there where he obviously had things to work out. He had a lot of trauma. He had a lot of just issues with Mario and Luigi and stuff like that, which made sense. Primarily Mario, obviously. But, the fact that he got big again and instantly sacrificed himself to be, like, to do their sentence, to dole out their sentence for them while they went to go handle the situation with Peach and finding Rosalina and stuff like that. The fact that he immediately went to that without any even thought back to the fact that he's been stuck in the castle as Mini Bowser for who knows how long at this point. Just the fact that he's like, oh yeah, I'm willing to jail myself for these guys. Like, these are my ride or dies. What? That was fast. And then that went nowhere because he was instantly saved by Bowser Jr. Like, first off, before we delve too much further into that, one thing I do want to say, Bowser Jr. was immaculate in this movie. I loved Bowser Jr. through and through. The way he uses the brush in this movie is so much fun, and it is so badass. It's so good. Bowser Jr. is fire in this movie. Only thing I do wish is that he used his clown car more. I really wish he would have used... That is a clown car, right? I really wish he would have used his car more, because that was like, that's what I grew up on, is him using that stupid ass clown car for everything. He was one of my primary mains back in, like, early Smash 4, right? When I was messing around with that clown car, I loved his trailer so much. He was so good. I really wish they delved more into that. But the way he uses the brush, I honestly prefer that over the clown car, if I'm completely honest, right? And we'll talk more about that too, right? But Bowser being saved pretty much instantly by Bowser Jr. took away any and all, like, just, like wow factor for his sacrifice for Mario and Luigi. It just went nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And that really sucked. And there's so many aspects like that. Like it doesn't make any sense. Not to mention there's a lot of just plot points that just didn't add up well and just didn't mesh together well, right? Obviously, like them when they were fighting in space and they knocked out the ship, Bowser Jr. excitedly threw the gun on the ground and it followed them down conveniently so that they could fix the situation with them being babies. Them being babies was a straight up reference. Like it wasn't even a plot point. It was just like, oh hey, you remember baby Mario and baby Luigi from Yoshi's Island? This is Yoshi's Island. Like, bro, what? That didn't even last more than a second. That could have been that could have been saved for an entire movie. A Yoshi's Island movie? That entire concept could have been used for an entire movie, and we use it as a throwaway reference. Oh, all right, yeah. Or Mario and Luigi partners in time. That could have been a great time travel movie aspect. But no, we just rushed that. Cool. And easily one of the biggest culprits of this is the fact that they straight up they did the OG, like Bowser on the bridge with the axes blocking the way. And they kill him. They straight up turn him into Dry Bowser. The fact that we got Dry Bowser that fast, like Dry Bowser could have been its own that. There's just so many throwaway concepts that we could have used for entire plot points, and we just didn't. Like we literally had, I kid you not, probably 45 seconds of mourning Bowser. Bowser Jr. was sad for 20 seconds before his dad came back. No concern as to the fact that he is a skeleton. He's a dry bones now. Alright, dude. Like, I can't understand the logic behind doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Long and short of it is, there's just so many plot points and aspects that just go to waste. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been so compelling to delve deeper into the aspects that Rosalina and Peach are sisters. Insane to reveal that through the movies. We don't even know if that's canon to like the games or not, but I feel like people are probably just gonna go by the assumption that this is just a canon thing, right? Because Mario as a franchise has like no story anyways, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, sure, why not? They're sisters, makes sense to me, that's fine. We could have eaten that up a lot more if we had any real, screen, like if we had any actual time with Rosalina. We didn't have enough time with Rosalina to get as much into that backstory as much as we probably would have liked, you know what I'm saying? And because of that, that a lot of those aspects fall short. I mean, again, we've all technically known Rosalina for well over half of our lives, so I'm sure that they're kind of just banking on that fact for that reveal to hit harder, you know what I'm saying? Which, like, it definitely got me. That's like easily the biggest reveal, is that those two are sisters. But like, it was just kind of like, oh, sure, okay, why not? Instead of like, whoa, like, yeah, it's just like, And then on top of that, Peach never really got a chance to, talk more about that. As far as anybody knew, she didn't even realize, nobody even realized they were sisters until she said it aloud. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't know. They delved into none of these plot points as much as they could have, and that sucked so bad. You know what I'm saying? That pacing was way too fast. They never gave any time to delve into any themes, any real plot points, and it just, story-wise, just completely falls flat. You know what I'm saying? And that bleeds into a lot of other aspects that I'm going to talk about too, right? For example, there are so many cameos. For all these cameos, for what purpose? Like, holy crap. First off, even within the Mario universe, Wart, we had him for, after that initial fight, we didn't see Wart again. You know what I'm saying? Like, Wart warned Bowser Jr. and Bowser about what was going on with Mario or with Peach and them. That was it for Wart. We just never saw him again. That was just it. I just didn't see him anymore. And that's like, okay, Birdo was there for Birdo had something to do for 30 seconds. Like, Birdo did less work than the Ninjas, which is crazy, dude. Like, who's that? I mean, I like the Ninjas, but nobody's that attached to the Ninjas like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's insanity, right? And then outside of the Mario, this is the crazy part, is that outside of the Mario universe, there are so many cameos in this movie. I don't understand why they even did this. They didn't need to do this, and it would have been much more interesting if they saved a lot of this stuff for reveals, like when we actually saw the movie. Like, we knew about a lot of these cameos before the movie even came out, and that kind of hurt the cameos in of themselves. Why even do that? You know, if you're gonna make these awesome cameos, at the very least, save it for the movie. Why did we not save that? Especially the man of the hour, Fox McCloud, who had, not even kidding, more screen time than Rosalina. This is not a Mario character. This is not a Mario character. Why does he serve more of a purpose than a lot of the other characters in the Mario universe? Why does he do more than Birdo has in this movie? That's insanity. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not mad about the fact that Fox is here. As a matter of fact, I adore the fact that Fox is here. I love that they were like, let's have so much fun with this movie that we reach outworld. You know what I'm saying? His warp situation getting messed up and him ending up in Mario universe, that's so believable. That's totally fine. But I don't know. It's a mixed bag with that. I love that Fox is here, but I feel like it would have hit harder if we didn't know he was here, and if it felt like it was leading to more, which now I'm not really sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool that he's a character. I'm glad he was the one. Like, if there's any pilot in the Nintendo universe that was gonna get them where they needed to go throughout space, it's so cool to have Fox McCloud be the one. You know, like Fox taking them through space. That's so sick. That is such a sick concept. I am just in fear of the possibility that this is a situation in which he has a whole role in a Mario movie and we don't utilize him again. Like, I feel like they could easily, if they're smart about it, you know, and Nintendo can make some decent decisions sometimes. If they're smart about it, we can capitalize off of the fact that people really were happy with the fact that Fox McCloud was here, and that his presence in this movie was solid. It was good. It was everything it needed to be. He was just an outworlder that just so happened to make his way here, and you know, he helped out. Cool, great, awesome. He got like almost like a, not redesign per se, but kind of a glam up situation, kind of like DK did, and I'm really hoping to capitalize on that, whether it be with his own little spin-off series from Nintendo, like a movie or maybe an animated series, or one can only hope, maybe even a game. Right now, I feel like I don't really have the qualifications to talk about this because I didn't really grow up on Star Fox as much, but you know, being into Smash and everything like that, it inspired me. Smash, I'm so thankful for, because it's one of the things that inspired me to, you know, diversify my taste. You know, when I want to get into a series, I want to learn everything about it, and with Smash, it was a little overwhelming at first because there were so many new characters introduced, especially in 4 and stuff like that, all these DLC characters and things like that I just simply had no idea about, and you know, it inspired me to really delve into things. You know, I wanted to learn more about Shulk. I wanted to learn more about the Fire Emblems and things like that. It's because of Smash that I wanted to diversify my tastes. And the weird thing is, when it comes to Star Fox, that was one of the series that I just never got around to, you know, delving a little bit more into, you know? And what sucks is that I don't really have as much incentive as I would have liked to, because, you know, that's just not my genre. You know, the simple space shooter genre, it's just not what I'm looking for. You know, I'm looking for something with a little more meat, some more story, some more, you know, maybe hand-to-hand action that gives us character development and stuff like that, you know, directly. And, you know, I just never knew if I could get something like that out of Star Fox. And, you know, it's such a jarring situation to see that they utilized him in this movie. I'm just really scared that this is all we're gonna get out of that, and I pray that's not the case. You know, they saw the reception that Fox got from just showing off his poster, which, again, I don't think that was a good idea. I think Fox being in this movie could have been an even bigger reveal to people than Rosalina and Peach being sisters. Like, even then, like, that's like oh, okay, like, neat, reveal, whatever. But if we didn't know about Fox, about frankly any of the cameos, but specifically Fox having a full role in this game, or I keep saying game, that's so funny, in this movie, it would have been even better. And I think the reception to that, I feel like they definitely would have responded to that much more. But regardless, I fear for this cameo, because I don't, there's no guarantee this could lead anywhere, you know? Like, Fox is here, and that's just it. We don't utilize this IP anymore. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little in my head about that, but I don't know. It just feels like a lot of these cameos were just kind of whatever, you know? They were fun. It was cool. It was awesome to have them. Rob, Pikmin, all of them, you know, it was great, but I don't know. It just felt a little overwhelming, especially considering the fact that we were already going through so many Mario games, so we barely had time to really appreciate anything, especially the cameos, you know? So, I don't know. It's a weird situation there. Another thing is the fact that there's so many concepts. This is one of the bigger things too. A lot of the concepts that were introduced here were astoundingly frustrating, right? Because these are things we don't see in the games at all, right? For example, Bowser Jr.'s abilities with the brush. Yeah, he utilized them in Sunshine, but not to that extent, not to that degree, and certainly not in Smash in any way, shape, or form, which he definitely could have, but we never touched on that. We have never seen him use the brush like this, and it is crazy because the way he uses the brush in this movie is incredible. He turns that thing into a weapon, brother, and he whoops some ass with it too, right? You telling me he sat down Rosalina with little to no effort on his end, by the way, for fun, just to show off with that thing. That's pure insanity. What he was able to create, he recreated the Odyssey Dragon from that thing casually. Of course, it ate him, you know. It was probably a little more powerful than he intended, but the fact that he has an ability like that is absolutely ballistic. We have never seen capabilities like this, and I pray to God we get to see that eventually, because we have not seen that, and that is extremely frustrating that this is where something like that gets showcased. It's like, oh, this is awesome. Where else can we see this? You know what I'm saying? Peach and Rosalina's fighting capabilities is another one, right? Because here's the thing, right? We all know Peach has always been a fighter. You know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Peach has always been strong. That's totally fine. But the fact that the last Peach game was so respectfully buns, we don't get anything like that. It's like you see Peach doing all this fighting, all this, just single-handedly taking down hundreds of ninjas on her own, fighting her way through the Mario Maker scene with Mario. Like, she's so incredibly capable and such a great fighter. Where do we get to see that? Almost nowhere else. Nowhere else. Right? We see, obviously, we have access to her in, you know, as a playable character in like Mario Wonder and stuff like that, and Smash. But like, she ain't doing all that. She ain't moving like she could. And I feel like that's just being so underutilized as a concept. Right? Because she was moving like that in Mario Movie 1. They just upped the ante in this game. I keep saying game. That's incredible. In this movie. And it's so awesome. And then you're like, oh man, I would love to see more Peach like this. And then you go play Super Princess Peach. And then we're all upset. Because that game does nothing for her. At all. It's so sad. Same with Rosalina. She don't be moving that crazy, even in all the games. Okay, well, I guess in the sports games she's a demon, but like, I don't know. It's just crazy how scary they make them, and it's awesome, and you want to see more of that, but we just don't. She's gonna Smash, but regardless, them being sisters, what revealed in the movie? Was this even a thing that was like speculated? I thought I was crazy. I was like, was this like a well-known thing? Like, did people know about this already? Or like, was this just a thing they did for the movie? And if they only did it for the movie, like, how does that affect the games now? You know what I'm saying? Like, Maybe we should play more into a situation where they are like where we have a sister dedicated game between Peach and Rosalina. You know what I'm saying? Or some kind of RPG situation dedicated around those two. Why not? I don't know. Why? That's the thing, you know? With stories like these, you know, when it comes to Mario, Miyamoto is respectfully allergic to storytelling. And it shows, unfortunately, right? You know, say what you will about, like, Zelda and whatever, with Pikmin, whatever, but, like, that man is allergic to storytelling. it's just so obvious. You know what I'm saying? Like, there had to be so many workarounds throughout the first movie and this movie to get any form of story across, but that, you know, there was obvious limitations in keeping it simple, to the point, and quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not a video game. It's one thing to not have that strong of a story when the gameplay is strong enough, like Odyssey or whatever, but it's another thing entirely to have a movie, something people are watching for the story. They want to get emotionally attached to these characters. They want to, you know, get to know them on a level that's unbeknownst to them from the games, right? We need to see a story. That's the whole point of movies. That's the whole point of books, to tell a story, to explain something that you didn't know before. And I don't know. I feel like for the most part, the movies showcase the same problems the game has, and it's that they don't know what. I mean, I guess I can't entirely just blame Miyamoto. Maybe there's more to it, but you know, they just don't know what to do with a story with Mario a lot of the time, and that really sucks. And it shows in the movies too. So I really don't know how they're gonna go about that next movie, but we already know there's gonna be a third one because, you know, of the teases. Obviously, this game is already breaking box office numbers. Like, it's not even the weekend, and it's like well over surpassed Mario 1 on its like first couple days. Not like overall, you know, but like it's gonna pass Mario 1, no doubt, zero doubt. So, I don't know. It just really sucks that there's so many concepts that they did not utilize that they could have, right? And then the last major disappointing thing for me personally, I've got to be honest. Daisy, that was a very weak reveal, right? Okay, nothing wrong with Daisy. Like, I love Daisy. Nintendo! I love Daisy, right? That's the GOAT. That's like, could you imagine if we had Sonic 2, right? We had the second Sonic movie, like basically with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, right? And then Sonic 3 did like Sonic Frontiers or something. And then for 4, we went back to Sonic CD. Like, what is that scope? Like, what are we doing here? Like, it feels so late for Daisy now, right? Not late per se, but it was a weak reveal considering everything that we've already gotten in Mario Movie 2, in the Galaxy movie. You know what I'm saying? We were already focused on so much within the, you know, the Galaxy and Odyssey and stuff like that. Now we're going back to Daisy's gonna be present in the next one. Is she gonna have a major role, or like what's up with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not a strong reveal after everything we've already been given. You know, that's supposed to be a situation of a lead up, right? This movie should have been, you know, focused on Daisy, and then maybe we should have gone to Rosalina. We already met Rosalina. We met one of the biggest names in the galaxy. So now we're going to the desert. We're going back to the desert. We were at the desert at the beginning of the Galaxy movie. So it's just not strong, and it doesn't necessarily do anything for me at this point, right? Like, now I'm just like, okay, you know, that's cool. Daisy could have been here. You know what I'm saying? And it would have been one thing if we led to like a Luigi's Mansion movie, and maybe Daisy would be present in that or something like that. But there is no situation that has given me any indication that we could be leading into a Luigi's Mansion spin-off movie. So there's like, what are we working with here? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. And that really sucks. That really sucks that this is, you know, this is how I'm feeling about Daisy. I still think Daisy's a fun character. She's great. She's awesome. She's so much fun in all the games that she's available in. She's such a, just such a fun, just spunky personality. But that's just kind of whatever here now, given how much we've just thrown at the wall with Galaxy Movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should have done something a little more focused and maybe worked with Daisy for this one. Maybe we should have introduced like Daisy, Birdo, Wart, and stuff like that for this movie and had a little bit more of a focused plot in that situation, and then moved to Galaxy and focused entirely on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so weak. So weak. Very, very weak final reveal, in my opinion. But I guess that is what it is. But overall, kind of hard to give it like a rating to the Galaxy Movie. If I had to, I guess I'll give it like a 6, like a straight up 6, right? Because like, it was fun. I had a very good time with it, and you know, visually it's beautiful and it had a lot of cool concepts, but a lot of those concepts didn't really feel like they went anywhere. The story was all over the place. It was just breakneck pacing with no breathing room at all. And it just, I don't know, you know, the fact that, you know, we've been trying to beat this very specific stigma for years, right? With like video games and video game movie adaptations, where we have franchises like Sonic, like Mario. Like, yeah, kids can play this too, kids can get into these games as well, but it's not like we have to ignore the people that grew up with the franchise, right? Same with Pokemon. This is something I've been speaking on with Pokemon for a long time. It's more than just the kids that pay attention to this stuff, right? You need to respect the people that have brought the series to where it is as well. And making it a specifically, you know, just a kid movie with, you know, a couple of references for the adults here and there, okay, but like, it's okay to delve into deeper themes. It's okay to tell real stories with these characters, to get deeper, to get more involved. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is no harm in doing something like that and teaching kids and older people that have grown up with the series new lessons. It's okay to do that. And it's just, we're having a harder time beating the stigma when you do stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, even that's the thing. Like, I feel the same way with the Sonic movies, is that there are aspects that are too childlike. It's too focused on trying to make it a good kid-friendly experience to the point where it makes a lot of aspects cheesy. It doesn't need to be cheesy. It doesn't. It can be cheesy sometimes. That's okay. But like, I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. But, you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. This movie's gonna sell a billion kajillion tickets. More than it already has, and we're going to see that third Mario movie in like 2 years, two and a half years, probably 3. We'll see what happens, but you know, I'll probably be there. I just hope they do a better job with this one, and I really do hope that it's more focused, but we'll probably save that for another video. But either way, that just about does it for me. Nice 40-minute video here. Have fun with my Mario Galaxy gameplay in the background there. That should be interesting. But I said my piece. I'm passing the mic over to you, and I want you guys to tell me everything that you're thinking in the comment section below. Do you agree that the Mario Galaxy movie, while fun, could definitely have used some work? It was absolutely lacking. It had a lot of cool references and cameos and aspects to it that just kind of fell flat in a lot of aspects, and you really wish more for it? Or am I completely wrong? This movie was absolutely perfect in every way. It deserves every award that it's probably going to get, or if it gets awards, because, you know, animated movie, so it's children's, babies, whatever, and, you know, it's perfect as is. Tell me everything that you're thinking in the comment section below, because you know for a fact that I'm always going to be down there with you guys. But with that, it does appear to be skedaddle the clock, so I'm going to go ahead and do just so. I'd like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this here. And with that, Gonzo, thanks again. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!